a project, an award-winning project, where it won an award in 2023 for at the SLI Annual Awards under the Green and Sustainable Architecture, I beg your pardon, Architecture 2023, and the Platinum Award, Green Building Council of Sri Lanka in 2022. Over to you, Architect Kasun.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Glamping Galloya. And first of all, I would like to thank for the opportunity that I was given to talk with you. I think this is a wonderful platform for me, especially as a young architect. So, wild glamping Galloya, wild means nature. Glamping means glamorous camping, which is new to the Sri Lankan context, but you may have some experience in European context but this is new to our Sri Lankan context and Galloya, so that is the location, and which is one of the best tourist attractions in Sri Lanka. And I would say that the primary aim of this project is to enhance and to enrich the agro-based, eco-based tourism in Sri Lanka, but through a sustainable architectural approach. And mainly, the property has mainly focused on three bottom lines: property, planet, and profit. And there isn't any doubt about that. This would be an out of ordinary camping experience in Sri Lanka. And as you can see, so this is the first photo. So that's the my first site visit. It was in December 2020. So actually, when I went there first, it was a bare land. I'll be explaining little by little. As I mentioned earlier, the site is located in Ratugala in Mondragala district. I think it's as you know, it's a dry zone, and there are a number of tourist attractions, including Galloya National Park, and Ratugala Indigenous Village, which is very important for us, as well as Rajugala ancient temple. So it has mainly environmental, social, as well as historical aspects surrounding the area surrounding our site. If I talk about the brief, it has mainly an authentic linear shaped restaurant with a curved bar, as well as there are three family tented camps and 7 double tented camps. I will explain later about them, as well as there is a swimming pool 15 by 45 feet. As I mentioned earlier, this concept is very new to our context. As you can see, the site has a number of natural resources, including mountain range, as well as the Rambakanoya is the main water body, and savanna forest as well, especially Nilgala rainforest, forest. So, as an architect, I was trying to use those natural resources into the site. So that's why I was trying to use the maximum benefit of the, especially the views, the maximum views, and to vista as well. And at your right side, as you can see, there is an indigenous house. So actually, they have very simple, simple construction method. So I was trying to use the that simplicity into my design, as you can see. So within the, within the context, you can feel the environment that you have. So that is what I wanted to give through my project. And interior, very simple interior, but in a luxurious setup, because we have different themes, but authentic experience. So that is our one of our inspirations, especially the client. I would say that Thema Collection is one of the Thema Collection is one of the main hotel chains in Sri Lanka. So they are the client of this project. So very simple interior has been used, especially soothing colors like green, gray, and brown. As I mentioned earlier, luxury setup, but in a simple form. Materials, especially materials, locally available materials have been used, especially illugrass, as well as Kasun, and Grandis timber for the columns, as well as the structure of the roof, because to minimize the negative effect of illicit deforestation, the all timber required are taken from the State Timber Corporation. So that is very important for us, as well as very environmental friendly materials have been used, because as I mentioned earlier, this site is located in an indigenous area. So we were trying to use those materials into the design, because we thought that it would be a great opportunity for us to enhance the character of the context, the character of the site. That is why we use those kind of materials, and this is the main slide of this presentation, because this demonstrates the green and sustainability that we have in the side, and especially single solar panels have been used each and every tent. Because it saves us, because it produces more than 80% of electricity for the property, and it uses for hot water as well. And as you can see, the second image, the grey water is systematically recycled at the resort for sanitary purposes, which is very important, as well as we have created some paddy fields, which is very important for water and soil detention. As I mentioned earlier, this is a dry zone, so it is very important for us to save water. And there is an in-house composting. And GAP means good agricultural practices, which is very important for us to use the concept of sustainability, and it promotes sustainable agriculture as well. And there is a drip irrigation system as well, and it saves more than 60 water usage. And there isn't any doubt about that. This is a very open structure, so it has always natural light and ventilation throughout the day. And water retention ponds, as I mentioned earlier, this is a dry zone, so we have to concern about the water that we have, so that is why we used, that is why we created some water retention ponds in some areas at the site. And the last one, so we have a saltwater infinitive pool, especially as you know, we use chlorine for the pools, but we have used salt water because it's non-irrigating, as well as it's very soothing than chlorine, and it is very important for your body. So this is physically and physically as well as healthy. It is very important salt water for human body. Nature, which is a very important slide, there can be a number of flora and fauna in Nilgala area. Especially we have used golden gecko, which is an endemic species that we can see in Nilgala area, because there are more than 100 species that we can find in Nilgala forest. So we were trying to use that simplicity through the resort, and we were trying to indicate that the wild glamping Galloya is a part of the nature. So that is why I used that kind of interior part, especially inside the room as well as the restaurant. And as you know, we can find tripala like Arlubulu Nelly, especially Indian gooseberry and myrobalan species. So that is the image, that is the character that we find surrounding the site. This is also very important part of the wild glamping Galloya project, because this is not just a project. This is actually community-based project as well as a knowledge sharing center. With the people, indigenous people, they were actually with us from the beginning of the project. As you can see, they did a wonderful job. I think we were very fortunate to share our ideas and thoughts with them. So this is a wonderful experience for me personally. So I would invite you all to visit Wild Glamping Galloya through this small video. This is the main restaurant, and the infinity pool, as well as the double tented camps. This is the front veranda of double tented camps. A very simple interior structure. This is the main veranda of the family tented camp. And there is a sitting area at the front, and the main bedroom. So this is the bathroom, semi-open bathroom, which is very so this is the bird eye view that you can see the layout of the wild glamping Galloya. The farm, agricultural farm, and an observation hut as well. Because there are 30 acres, but we have just used 2 acres to complete this wild glamping project, and we have kept other land for future development. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Architect Kasun, for that lovely presentation. 80% electricity, 60% water. Amazing how Architect Kasun uses natural resources for his strengths and understanding the context to his extent. And now I would like to open the forum for the public. If there's any questions, any ideas, any perspectives about the presentation, you can bring it out. You all can also talk to him, speak to him in English, Sinhalese, any language you all prefer. Okay, so until you all think about a question, I have a question for you. So do you think modernization in architecture or construction in the current context, do you think it's based on our indigenous culture now, or are we going back to our roots, and is that what is meant by modern architecture and construction today?
Yes, that is very important. That is why I told you in my presentation. So this is different, different experience, but luxurious setup, but in an authentic context. So we, as young architects, so we have to context. We have to respect the context that we have, and if we have a very so if we have a good opportunity to get some characters of the modern architecture, I think that would be better. So that because we are living in that context, in that era. So so it depends, I think.
Thank you. And any more questions? Can we have a mic?
Thank you, Kasun. Very interesting topic and project, actually. So, and a very interested area also. I'm very much happy to go there and visit and enjoy the novel thing there. For my understanding and others' understanding, how is the wildlife attack and protection over the area, and how when we are going to a hotel, we are so much of concern of our safety and all this, but this cottages and things, there is no as such. Maybe sometimes you are assured that through your safeguard system and everything. And other thing is that how is the engineering that you have used for the engineering, like technology for water supply and other activities. I have seen that approach roads, and it's those are gravel road, that's okay for light vehicles, and inside also some kind of things. Something like I felt it is low cost approach. Yes. So how to define that? I don't know how, whether you have got structural engineers input and those economic concerns and material selection and things. Is that architect inputs only, or some other material engineers kind of inputs as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will give an answer for the first question. It's about the security, the protection. As I mentioned earlier, this is a wild glamping galloy, because this is a project related to camping. So, so you have to experience that that dangerous experiences. So I think that is why we wanted to use a very simple platform, because this is not just to stay at a night. So you have to more than stay there 3 or 4 days to get the experience. So you might feel that experience. So that is what we wanted to give through this wild glamping galloy project. And the second one, actually there was a structural engineer as well, and that is why because we submitted some structural engineers reports as well as other reports. That is why I think we were very fortunate to receive the Platinum Award from the Green Building Council 2022. I think there are a number of reports, including structural reports and environmental and carbon footprint reports, number of reports such as. And another thing, as I mentioned earlier, I went there, I still recall that December 10th of December 2020. 10th of December 2020. So we just had 3 or 4 months to complete as a design period, but it took 7 months to complete the whole project, the construction project. Because we had to confront some difficulties as well, because it was constructed during the COVID-19. So personally, I had to confront some incidents as well. So that is what I wanted to tell you. I'm the architect who designed that project, but we have a group of professionals like QS, structural engineer, and service engineers as well. So that is the thing. Okay. Thank you. Any questions?